was a perfect round, capped off with an awesome flash onto Sova Long. Next up, Elementric shows up.
Oh, putang ina, saka bumaba ang ting ang puta. Ayop ka. Oye, oye, oye.
Match found.
Okay, magwawalang niya.
Stand in my
Okay,
way.
mag-breach.
I dare you.
Brother Noel, what's up? Woohoo! Pasilip lang sa idol ko, langya ka. Nip slip. Ay. Hindi kita eh. Woohoo! Sana naman hindi na bagsak ang ping. Net. Bango ng mic ko. Ang sarap dilaan.
I remember the machine skills you made. What they did to...
No.
Never mind.
No. No.
Bulagan galore na dis.
Scanning ahead.
Someone's A.
Putang
Bunch of guys A. Take flight.
Reloading. Reloading.
Ah, puta!
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
Okay.
Hi po.
So the German has
Pao.
some fancy toys.
Hi
Let's
po,
break
Loki
them.
Kicks. Sana po mapuhat.
Daw. Hi po.
Hi po, Lady Kicks.
Sino to?
Blinding.
Revealing area.
Sino to? Sino this?
Sinatoy po.
Natoy? Walang iya ka.
Flash out.
Someone's A.
Third.
Gago.
Cussing. Right there. Blinding. Keep going. Out of charges.
30 seconds left. Ten seconds left. Last player standing.
Knock me down, I'll get right back up.
Brother Luther, what's up? Putang ina, hindi na ako nakapaglaro ng matino. Ayop na PLDT yan. Kung kailan ako naka-troll mode.
Revealing area.
Ayaw mo hindi ng mga puta.
Enemy spotted mid. Here. Enemy spotted mid. There. Caution here. Enemy spotted A.
Sino si Natoy?
Spike planted.
Meme ba yun? Putang.
Found them. One down.
Boss Richard! Putang ina nyo, magbulaga na lang tayo.
Flash
Oh,
out.
ayan pa. Let's sila.
Out of charges.
Last player
Meron sa
standing.
likod!
Puta ka na. Sorry.
Mali ako ng pasok.
Okay
You
lang,
are
okay
ready
lang.
for a light show.
Meron pala doon sa kanan na wala sa... What? Kung kailan naman ako naka-troll mode. Ang wrong timing ng pasok na to. Kung kailan... Gusto ko, ang plano ko mang-troll. Tapos, saka pa may makakalaro na matino.
For you, hermanita.
Mali eh. You never
Enemy
know
spotted A.
talaga.
Help, daddy. Nasa A.
Tabi.
Trevor! Joke's over! You're
Multiple
dead!
enemy A. Enemy kill. Someone's A.
Good, putang ina mo.
One enemy remaining. Spike down A.
Spike spotted A.
Wait.
Mais lang.
Sige! Teka, bubulagin ko. Nasaan ba?
Reloading.
Blinding.
Ayun na!
Flash out.
Ay, mali!
Last player standing.
Ay, gago na choke. Nice one.
Sayang.
Okay lang, okay.
This place is nice, but not nice enough to die in. Let's win and get out of here.
Uy, kanino to? Uy, Bridge.
Sige. Sa'yo na. Ayos lang.
Salamat, pre.
Ano na dyan, Poisky? Kala ko maglalaro ka.
Scanning ahead.
Blinding. Flash out. Blinding.
Spike down B.
Take flight.
Wait lang, so malicious.
Reloading.
One enemy remaining.
Patayin.
Flawless.
Nice, Terry.
So embarrassing. Get these idiots.
Hindi ko inabutan yung bandal po. Si Natoy, di ba streamer yun? Maraming salamat sa mga nag-like ha.
I'll make that killjoy cry.
Pasensya na. Walang alert eh. Baduy itong...
Flash out. Blinding.
Spike down B.
Deploying drone.
Enemy spotted B.
Revealing it.
Spike planted.
Yikes.
Off your feet.
One enemy remaining.
Right here.
Last player standing.
Oh, was that important?
Wow!
We doing this or what?
Ang gamit naman ng matino-tino ng baril. Abangers!
We win. We survive. Come on, let's go! Someone's A.
Concussing.
Hunter!
Out of charges.
Layo, putang ina. Parang meron sa mid-market.
I've got your trail.
Mid na sila.
Nice.
God damn it!
Planting B. Gago.
Putang ina!
Gago.
30 seconds left.
Scanning ahead.
Spike planted.
There they are.
One
Ooh.
enemy remaining.
Ayun na, ayun na. Nandiyan nata sa... Ay, nasa bot out. Ay, nice try.
Time to take these arms for a spin.
Tanga na, hindi na ako magpupush. Dito na lang ako. Dapat pala inultihan ko yung kanina.
Scanning ahead.
Stay down.
Trevor!
Need help. Yeah.
Aroy.
Enemy spotted mid. 3. Enemy spotted mid.
Sakin mo!
One enemy remaining. Spike down mid.
In a fair fight, I'd still kill you.
Deep breaths, everyone. Your hearts are pounding.
No.
Need a drop. Thanks.
Good.
Thanks. 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 Let's go!
Revealing area.
Concussing!
There.
Ano naman tong punyeta na to? Fuck you.
Spike planted.
Puta.
There.
Blinding!
One enemy remaining. There.
It is over.
This is fun. Who needs training dummies when you have real
No.
dummies?
No. Trevor!
Ayaw, ayaw. Ayaw, ayaw.
Flash out!
Ayaw. Abangers ah.
I am the hunter! Insecto. There.
I've got your trail.
30 seconds left.
You're done.
Reloading.
Cussing!
Deploying drone.
Spike down.
Blast out!
10 seconds left. One enemy remaining.
No more.
Nice. Nice one po.
Trust me, they'll know what hit them.
Ano ba 10 bundle build different yan? Obvious naman.
For you, everything. Someone's mid.
Blinding! Too late.
Nagtotroll na lang ito mga...
One enemy remaining. Cutting their vision.
Talo pa nga.
There you are, little shit.
Last round in the half.
Uy, request.
I'm feeling
Phoenix.
generous. Who needs a buy?
Phoenix request, Phoenix.
I need
Phoenix.
a shot. Shine here. Need a drop here. Thanks. Enemy spotted here.
Cussing!
Here.
Blast
Dito ako
out!
sa...
Someone's A.
Eh, na mga idolo. This one.
Spike down A.
Spike is A. Someone's A.
Gago, sinasaksa ko.
Enemy spotted A. Silence.
Blinding!
One enemy remaining.
Nice.
Blast out! Kill everyone. Our job is a lot easier.
Killing area.
Dart.
Switching
ma'am.
sides.
Let's go. I got things to do.
3,000 hours of breach ba to?
Here.
Hey! Alright,
Alright.
let's go!
Let us hunt.
Laki yan. Laro.
Blinding!
Someone's mid.
Blast out!
Sorry.
Reloading. Reloading.
Spike planted.
Right here.
Out of charges.
Shot down. Neutralized.
Right there.
Defender spawn.
Enemy in defender spawn.
One enemy remaining.
Right here.
Ay, gago. Nagulat ako.
You will barely work.
Nice. Nice, Barry.
New fight, new tactics, keep it fresh, yeah?
Teka, bablind ako.
Kicks.
Careful here.
Track them down.
Flash out!
Cutting their vision.
Reloading. Here.
Patay si Lodi ah.
Spike planted!
Oh shit.
Down! Concussing! Watching here.
Uy, sayang.
Flash out!
Last player standing.
Wala bala! Putang ina!
Wala nang bala, sayang.
Gago, sayang.
Remember, stay out of the fire. Super high level tactic. Remember that, yeah?
Mamaya ako ilalaro ng Valorant. Siya. Habang ano, nag-iinit. Tayo na magtotroll lang
There.
talaga ako.
Let me
Napunta
show you how
sa...
the boss does it.
Bigla may naglaro na.
Blinding!
Cutting their vision.
Reloading.
Back planted. Back.
Careful now! Blinding! Nice
Oh,
catch.
putang
One
ina mo.
enemy remaining.
Going up.
Scanning ahead.
Bulag.
Nice one.
Race it to the spike site.
Tumakas ka na naman, Japoy. Tumakas na naman yan. Kota na rin yata eh. Kota na. Kota na si Japoy. Sino to reach back skill na to? Kaya,
Don't hold back.
Natoy.
Flash out!
Come on, let's go.
Still inside.
Concussing!
Tarantado.
This one.
Tangin na.
Reloading.
Spike planted! Out of charges.
Ah!
Go.
Putang ina yung aso.
One down.
One enemy remaining.
Gago na agad ng Aska.
Tangin ng aso yun. Yung gago, nagulat ako. Ba't namatay?
Match point.
May
Let's
damage yan.
finish this already.
Let's go E, guys.
Kulit ng aso. Puta.
Hindi pa natuturukan yan, Lods.
Embarrass them.
Let's go!
Ay!
Cutting their vision.
Reloading.
Spike planted! Flash out!
Hindi mo ko tatamaan dyan.
Blinding!
Hindi mo ko tatamaan dyan,
I've
bata.
got your trail.
Enemy spotted A. Enemy spotted A.
Tangin na tinamaan ako.
One enemy remaining.
Nice one.
Woo! Nice game, nice game.
Attackers
Nice
win.
game, nice game.
Nice game, pare ko eh. Tangina! Tayo na parang mahirap gawin yung 10,000 hours of reach. Ay, tayo dyan. Ubus ang lakas mo dyan. Oh, isa pa. Busy sila, busy. Sino naman itong PF? Sorry guys, hindi ko kayo kilala eh. Tuloy yung troll mode
Match
natin.
found.
30 minutes pa lang. Kung 10,000 hours of breach, ay 1,000 hours of breach. Putya, ilang araw yun? O sige, ikaw na. Tangin na lahat ng piliin ko meron. Ano na?
Stand in my way. I dare you.
Lahat ng piliin ko may kapares ang puta. Let me play Breach, guys, para dilista ko kung nakakailang oras na ako. Isang oras pa lang sa 1,000 hours. Ilang araw yun? Shit! Hindi araw yun. Isang buwan? Sabihin na natin sa isang araw, max 4 hours. Matagal-tagal yan. Grabe. Grubby.
Multiple enemies A.
Flash out!
Spike planted.
Target down.
Concussing!
One enemy remaining.
Ubus.
We good.
Thank you.
To stretch my wings.
I need a drop. Cheers.
Grubby.
Placing sentry.
3B.
Okay.
Blinding! Hit the bull. Someone's B.
Turret out.
Clearing out. Flash out.
Spike down B.
Spikes B.
One enemy remaining. Flawless.
Flawless. What
Sayaw
the
sa bala.
Yo, Sova, that house pretty dope. Will look a lot better with some flame decals on it. Right?
Dude, troll mode lang. Walang seryosohan. Hindi naman troll. Hindi ko naman intention naman troll na manggago. Pero
Keep it cool. That's how you survive. Placing alarm bot.
Blinding.
Come on, let's go.
Spike planted.
Flash out.
oh fuck, naubos.
Last player standing.
Check corners, motherfucker.
Terminated. Good.
They demand a fight. Who are we to disobey?
Dito naman ako mambubuisit.
Reloading.
Quick peeks now.
Turret out.
Blinding.
Gago, wala akong baril! Wala akong baril!
Spike down A.
Careful now.
One enemy remaining. Spike down A.
Yeah.
Level heads until we're home, yes? Good.
Grubby!
Time for a field test.
Flash out.
Enemy spotted A. One down.
Turrets destroyed.
Spike down A.
No more.
Last player standing.
Outs.
One enemy remaining.
Revealing area. Good thing I was with you. Yes?
Well done, Sova. You truly are a hunter.
Dito naman ako.
Can I get this? Thanks.
Mow him down. Yeah.
Yeah, baby!
Get out of my way!
Dito, Phoenix. Here.
Come on, let's go!
Flash out!
One enemy remaining.
Not to play.
Why?
Defenders win.
Bro!
You were only in my way.
Sumuko! Putang ina. Sumuko. Taka na, hindi natin mapupulfill yung 1,000 hours of breach. Ano ba yung score ko? 4-3? Umayaw. O, isa pa. Na bad trip. Tanga na, ikaw ba naman ang bulado
Match
ng bulado?
found.
Hindi ka ba bad trip? Yan! Putang na. Para mahirap ang bridge dito. Challenge to. Yeah!
Stand in my way. I dare you.
Kaya yan. Why does the sun go on shining? Tangin na, Dutch. Yun lamang. Why? Delilah.
Match found.
Ah, puta na, mahirap ang bridge dito. Shit.
Stand in my way. I dare you.
Sarap mag-bridge dito tapos shotgun. Pwede. Why, Delilah? Oh, putang na, may bridge din sa kabila. Oh yeah. Let's go, let's go.
Their Sova looks familiar.
No.
What am I saying? Of
No.
course he does.
No.
Enemy spotted A.
Wall raised. Bomb buddy out.
Enemy spotted A. Enemy spotted B.
Amateur.
Bulbul mo.
Enemy
Flash out. Blinding.
train high.
Enemy spotted B.
What
Reloading.
the fuck?
Enemy spotted.
Last player standing. Clutch.
Panalo eh.
I've been itching for a fight. No.
Let's go.
Flash out.
Someone's B. Enemy spotted A. Enemy spotted A.
Clearing out.
Okay. Reloading. Satchel out.
Enemy spotted A.
Flash out.
What the?
Spike down A. Last player standing. Flawless.
Where's that smile, Phoenix?
Oh, game.
Reloading. Reloading.
Concussing. Blinding.
Spike down B. Last player standing. Flawless.
When Reyna gets started, it's hard to stop her. I'd like to avoid that, please.
No.
Time to explode.
What the hell?
Last player standing. Spike down, attacker spawn. One enemy remaining. Clutch.
Ooh, that's going on a highlight reel for sure.
Let them try to.
Bahala kayo.
Keep up.
Get out of my way!
Blinding.
Be faster. Come on, let's go! My carry is down.
Flash out.
Spike down, attacker spawn.
Blinding.
I have the spike.
One enemy remaining.
You will not kill my allies!
Careful now.
Spike planted.
Last player standing.
Bomb buddy out. Here comes the party!
One enemy remaining.
We're here because we're the best. Don't any of you forget that.
Shit.
Coming down.
Nawala tuloy.
Satchel up.
Concussing.
Scouts down.
Enemy spotted A.
Spike down, attacker spawn.
Bomb buddy out.
Last player standing.
Together, we will bury them under their transgressions.
Defenders win.
Not them.
Iyoko na, putakin. Bukas naman ulit. Umay din ako.
yung mga ganyan eh, hindi na pinagtatagal yan. Hindi natin kailangan ng mga ganong ano. Hindi natin kailangan ng mga ganong viewers. Walang toxic pa, walang toxic dito. Ban ka kagad. Nakikipagsabayan sa grind, sir. Sayang na late kayo, nagbigay si Boss DL ng Welkin sa naban. Wala, hindi mo inabutan, sayang. May mga ganun talaga, hindi may iwasan. What's up, Jonathan Valdez? Actually, kung maraming tao kanina, baka lumiit na sa hiya yun sa dami ng magta-trash talk sa kanya dito. Nag-top fan pa nga si Jonathan Valdez. Hindi ko nakikita yung yung badges eh. May papansin kanina. Nasira ka agad ah. Puntahan na natin yung yung story. Not sa Duck Race. Hindi pwedeng co-op eh. Sayang nga eh. Ito yung part na to ng story. Patay na si Goku dito. Nagte-training na siya kaya Kayo sama. Baka naghahanap ng pag-giveaway na Welkin kaso walang itagupan. Aray. Sampung duda sa quick stream. Hindi ko pa masyadong kabisado yung mga galawan. Mga twice ko pa lang to nalalaro. Mastenko, Body Impact, tsaka Meteor Sledge. What's up?
goddamn, I have to read everything. No, let's just not do that. I hadn't fastened the tremolo bar. Oh, let's just go. Corey Adamanis, you mentioned you only have one guitar on your wall at home. What's the one guitar Ola Englund chooses to have on his wall at home? Great question, and a lot of you guys speculated. What is the guitar that Ola has in his home? That one guitar that he keeps? Because obviously when I got this office, I just took all of my guitars here, and I do guitar stuff and office stuff here at home. You know, I completely shut that off. But I do have one guitar at home if I need to kind of like, what guitar is it? Let's go check.
Yeah, so the one guitar I have at home is this. That's another solar. I don't know why I picked this one to have at home. It's one of those that I had over. I mean, it's a prototype that we were gonna sell anyways. We have this guitar, but in like bolt-on version, like an extra version right there. But we never made this guitar thing. It became more of a, it became a bolt-on basically. So it's just a prototype of a head over. So I took it home.
So there you have it. That's the guitar. Thank you. German Albin. Question for the next FAQ. What the hell is the instrument in the solo of your new song Bluesy McBluesface from the new album What TF? That my little penis friend is called harmonica. That is being played through a Mesa Boogie Roadster amplifier. No, it's actually a member of mine, Michael James Burns, that is playing harmonica on my blues song, and he reamped his harmonica through a Mesa Boogie Roadster. How about that? I think he did an incredible job on the song, and thank you. The Tired Horizon, haven't watched Ola in a year, come back to discover it takes him 6 minutes to burp. I'm wondering if he's like, okay, is this a good thing or a bad thing? What is meaning? I don't know what the meaning of this is. Maybe he wants me to burp even earlier in the videos. Did I burp already this one? I'll let you know when I'm ready, okay? And I keep... Bob Cornbrook, do you ever play with real musicians anymore, or just plug-ins? Seems to be the way of most guitar players nowadays. I spend 90% of my time jamming with real drums and guitar players, and the other 10% playing on my dog. Man, that's really cool of you to spend 90% of your time jamming with real drums and guitar players. That's very fortunate, actually, that you get to do that. And kudos to you, man. But in reality, today is that a lot of people are sitting at home playing through plugins because of the convenience of playing through plugins. I mean, there's nothing uncool about playing through plugins because you're still, at the end of the day, you're playing guitar. You know, I understand what you're saying, that you might not play with real musicians because obviously people are not. They're playing with Superior Drummer or whatever. And I think it's very important to play with real musicians because that's how you find real groove. And, you know, the people aspect of you gelling together with a drummer or a bass player or whatever. I mean, it's an extra magic that is it's very beautiful. And if you can have it, that's great. But not everyone has the choice to jam without musicians. And, you know, if they're still at home playing guitar through plugins, who cares? Just say, hey Ola, do you ever be in zone, in jamming, play a sweet riff, and then immediately forget it? Yes, every fucking day, man. Every fucking day. It's a daily struggle. But the good thing about this is that I forget everything. So I don't even remember if it was good or not. So that's a great thing. But yeah, when I write stuff, I usually just put everything on record in a DAW, and then I record me jamming, and maybe sometimes I catch something. That is cool. That's a very good trick for you to find riffs, actually. Just push record, jam out for an hour, and eventually you're like, oh, that was good. You can always stop and go back and listen to it. It's great. It's just a tip. C Cody 10S. Hey Ola, I love hearing you talk about why you love the album format. I am an album guy too. What is your favorite album in terms of how it flows together as a cohesive piece? Great question. I'm going to take this around a little bit. Is that better? Great. Look at my hair, man. These lights. There's a lot of concept albums that I talk about album flow. Scenes from Memory, Dream Theater. It's one of my favorite concept albums, and an album that's not necessarily a concept, but just a really good flowing album is Opeth's Blackwater Park. Holy shit, man! I think that's just a journey right there, the full album, and yeah, I just love the fact when you listen to an album and you forget that you're listening to individual songs. That's something that's like a real true art right there, and that's what I'm trying to do with my albums. Obviously, it's not working, but I'm trying. Okay, but yeah, I just love forgetting that songs are songs, and you listen to a full. It's like watching a movie basically. You watch the movie and you enjoy the different parts of the movie. It goes up and down and whatnot. I love that in an album as well. I'd rather listen to an album that is one song going up and down and feeling that it's just one piece other than individual songs. I guess it depends on the band. I mean, I like Slayer for the fact that they're beat Slayer, but they can still have a flow in their album. It's just that individual songs and whatnot. But I'm really a fan of the cohesive flow, where a song really makes another song, and the song in between makes the song before and the song after complete. I mean, that is some sort of magic right there. And I completely derailed. Sorry, Bowen Matheson. I really appreciate the comments on the significance of a separate workspace to those who have flourished working from home during the pandemic. What's your secret? To be honest, I'm probably the last guy to ask this, because for me, the pandemic hasn't really done that much. I mean, I was still working in my office, and I go to and from the office, and before the pandemic, the people that I hung out with was basically my kids. So, and I'm still hanging out with them in the pandemic. So for me, there hasn't really been too much of a change, to be honest, other than that I'm actually not out traveling as much, which that's a win-win for me. I don't like traveling, and so I've been home, working. It's not fun seeing other people having a rough year, but I haven't been that affected by it, to be honest. I think it's important to kind of cherish the people DC from Fort Worth places. Man, I've been demoing so many Jackson and Charvel guitars lately. Just saying, I did the Jackson McThompson. I did what else did I do? I did a Jackson Willet Chug, a smaller guitar. I also had the Adrian Smith Jackson. Come on, man. I've been doing a lot of Jackson guitars, just saying. Max Flurry 252. I know you may not see this comment, but what strings do you use? Oh shit, do I have the string pack here? No, I do not. Okay, this is a pretty common question, I guess. What strings do I use? And I know this might be very, very interesting, and sometimes people are like, oh, he uses about other artists, like, okay, Meshuggah uses DR strings or Doctor strings, and that's, there's a lot of mystery around. Okay, shit, I should get Doctor strings. Meshuggah uses them, they have to be cool. For me, it's always been like, whatever strings that are not the absolute cheapest ones that I have near me, that's the ones that I use. So I just mix and match, man. I think the most common ones I use are GHS, because they're not very expensive, and they have all the type of sets that I need. I know a lot of these brands like the Adario and Ernie Ball, they're kind of trying to sell these more exclusive strings, like the NYXLs or whatever, and they're becoming more expensive because of this, because it's the top of the line strings, and I just don't like that, because strings are strings. And personally, I didn't see a benefit of going NYXL over the regular strings that they had, and yeah, so I just buy GHS strings. Or whatever's close to whatever I have in my box over there. David Lawson, serious question. Why do you even need a label anymore? Can't you just build your name without it and hook up with a booking agency? Yes, obviously. If that's what you want, if you want to go out and tour, booking agency is where it's at, man. For sure. I've been talking about this before. I let you guys know what I think about labels and how much I love them. But yeah, obviously you don't need a label in today's day and age. They're basically just a middleman, which might be good if you if you just want to concentrate on the music and and being an artist and do what you're supposed to do, like, focus on the art, then the label is great because they take care of the other bullshit, so you don't have to worry about it. For that sense, yes, labels are great, but if you do have the time, and probably if you're an up-and-coming band, you want to work for your band, right? You want to make it big. You want to market yourself in the way that you want, and you want to have control. Or at least that's how I see about a lot of new things that I do in my album. If you see it like that and you can put the time and effort in, then no, you don't need a label. You can do it all by yourself. In the marketing aspect, I think labels have a stronger voice in terms of pushing a band, obviously, but that doesn't mean that they will push you more than you would do yourself, or that the end result will be better if they push it or if you push it. I mean, it's hard to say, but you can definitely do a lot yourself. Getting a booking agency, I mean, you can book gigs yourself if you want to take that route. You can even go without having a booking agency. Just saying, you can do everything yourself. You just have to learn how to do it. Okay, thank you. Neutron, hi Ola. Wondering what are your thoughts on bands like Megadeth releasing NFTs? There have been a lot of talk about it. Bands generating extra income. Yes, NFTs. Great. I actually like the idea of NFTs, but I must be honest, I did not fully understand what it was in the beginning. And just like, I guess, the majority of everyone out there, but like, why? When I can just take a picture and, I take on my computer.
Fundamentally, a mini LED is just an LED, but smaller. So I can understand why some people wouldn't be that excited about it. But hold on, because mini LED, that's the same technology that enabled Apple to create their upcoming iPad Pro that everyone is so excited about. Except that on Samsung's new generation of Neo QLED TVs, you can have it in a display that's up to 85 inches diagonally. On paper, they've got all the benefits of quantum dot, like crazy brightness, accurate and wide gamut color, and resistance to burn-in, and they could even deliver black levels that are competitive with OLED. That is a lot to live up to. Just like your expectations for my sponsor Segways. Honey is the free-to-use shopping tool that helps search some of the best promo codes on lots of your favorite sites. Get it today at joinhoney.com/LTT. In the high-end TV space today, you essentially have two competing technologies. QLED, which is short for Quantum Dot LED Backlit LCD, and OLED, which is short for Organic LED. You've probably heard me call OLED the best TV technology on the market, and justifiably so. Its main advantage is that each individual pixel acts as its own backlight and can be turned off individually, allowing the color black to be just actually black, as in a complete lack of light. However, it's not for everyone. At least as of the 2020 models, OLED displays just aren't bright enough that I would call them a perfect option for a well-lit environment like this one. Although LG did just launch their second-gen OLED panels, which are supposedly much brighter. Get subscribed so you don't miss our upcoming review of a Sony TV, of all things, that has one of those. Getting back to more traditional display designs, though. When you've got a backlight shining through one or multiple filter layers, the only way to achieve black is to remove or block as much of that light as you can. Now with a single full screen backlight, the best that you could really do was a washed out sort of bluish purpley black that makes it virtually impossible for older TVs to display HDR or high dynamic range content. To combat this, manufacturers came up with the idea of splitting the backlight into zones that could be individually dimmed to reduce the amount of light in dark areas of the scene, making them more black, or well, rather less lit. Really cool, but when you only have 50 zones, for example, on a 75-inch display, they can be pretty large and very obvious, resulting in something called the halo effect, which is just a fancy way of saying, wow, I can really see where the backlight zones are, and they're super distracting. It's especially noticeable when a user interface element comes up over top of a dark background, like a loading circle or media controls. That's not to say, though, that there aren't any TVs with lots of backlight zones, like Vizio's P-Series Quantum X, for example, which has 480 on the 75-inch model. But even that is not really competitive with the nearly 8.3 million zones on an equivalent 4K the ideal viewing experience regardless of the environment. Now, Samsung themselves are working on micro LED displays, which would, similarly to OLED displays, have pixel-level control. But they are not, how you say, price feasible for the average end user just yet. That, long history lesson, is where Neo QLED comes in. This is Samsung's first foray into mini LED technology. Mini LEDs were developed to help shrink the backlight LEDs down as much as possible in an effort to add more dimming zones. And this is the same approach that Apple takes with their new iPad Pro, except that it has nearly 10,000 mini LEDs contributing to 2,500 zones on just a 12.9-inch display. That is very impressive density to say the least. This TV, by contrast, unintended, isn't anywhere near the level that Apple was able to achieve. More on that later, but I still want to give it a shot. So, oh god! Well, just finished the setup process here, and it's got a nice phone wizard to make the setup easier, like most modern TVs and consoles. But one thing that did stand out that was positive was that Samsung allows you to choose your own voice assistant rather than forcing you to use Bixby. That truly is a pretty nice touch. Now, price-wise, the Q85A we have here is at nearly the same price level as LG's 2020 model OLEDs, like the C10, at each size. So, we grabbed a 48-inch C10 for our image quality comparison. Don't mind the fact that a year ago, we showed you how to put together a decent setup for video conferencing and streaming for anywhere from $0 to $50. And, okay, I lied a little to get your attention. You sound pretty darn good and, well, you're breathtaking. You're breathtaking! But that doesn't mean there's no room for improvement. Somewhere between our previous $0 and $3,000 setups has got to be a middle ground that levels up your streaming game without breaking the bank. And to show you how much each upgrade changes the experience, Owens Pro sponsored this video where we've recreated our original $0 streaming rig, and we will be upgrading it piece by piece. That way you can judge for yourself if our choices were worthwhile. So, I hope you picked good stuff, because this still looks and sounds pretty darn good, don't it? There we are, back to the original lighting, and still not bad considering the budget. Of course, we've got some more money to spend, so where do we start? Sound. If you've got some money left over, it is hard to go wrong with an audio upgrade. Sort of. Many of you will already know that gaming microphones tend to compromise performance for aesthetics, flashy lights, and sponsorships for esports teams. But while the conventional wisdom used to be, well, the people in the know are going to go get a USB mic, these days, once you're past about the $50 point, there really isn't any reason to do that, even with the Blue Snowball being as decent as it is. The thing is, they just don't have the same internal space and isolation that a good dedicated audio interface and a standalone analog microphone will. For $65, you can get a Behringer UMC22, which has dual inputs, a TRS jack, and a combo XLR TRS connector. It's got Midas preamps, which are a little bit better than you'd find on Behringer's basic units, and it's got 3 more TRS jacks for headphones and stereo video monitors for when it's time to upgrade your listening setup. Of course, since we're not going for an all-in-one solution, now we need to choose a microphone, with condenser and dynamic microphones being the go-tos for most streamers and podcasters. Dynamic microphones are known for their exceptional noise isolation, and the SM48, which you're listening to right now, is no exception. It's a hammer-style mic, like you might see at an event or concert, but that doesn't mean it's only meant for stage use. Dynamic microphones do have some downsides. They tend to have a very tight cardioid pickup pattern, which means that if you lean or turn away from your mic, you'll almost immediately sound muffled. But if you live or work in a room that has a lot of reverb or noisy air conditioning or something, this bug quickly turns into more of a feature. Also, because dynamic microphones don't use phantom power, they can require a huge amount of gain to hear clearly. That means that some mic and interface combos may require a gain-boosting add-on, like a cloud lifter, though ours is fine without. They also naturally cut off the high end fairly early, which can result in them sounding somewhat flat without a need to use EQ, but we'll talk more about that later. Condenser mics, on the other hand, tend to have a more open pickup pattern, meaning more background a wider frequency response, particularly on the high end. If you have a room that's already quiet as is, and you'll be close to your microphone, but you might move around a bit, well, there's a reason that the $100 Audio-Technica AT2020 is so popular. It can sound fantastic. However, if you're planning on using a condenser, you will need 48-volt phantom power on your interface. Now, our Behringer UMC22 did end up doing a pretty nice job with the Aston Spirit mic that I'm using at the moment, but at $450, I think the biggest takeaway here is how much bang for the buck we had with our $40 dynamic mic. After a cable and an inexpensive stand-in, that puts us at $130 for sound, meaning we can now turn our attention to video. And as crazy as this might sound, if you're a tinkerer, I would strongly recommend buying an old flagship phone and a cheap tripod on eBay rather than going with a traditional webcam. Apps like IP Webcam make it easy to import the video feed into a program like OBS or Zoom, and as an extra bonus, you can always use it for phone things if you're in a pinch. The main drawback of this strategy is that some phones can overheat during prolonged use, and you will want to get one that allows you to set a charge limit to prevent the battery from swelling. Or you can take your game to a whole other level with a dedicated camera. If you already have a DSLR or mirrorless camera kicking around with an HDMI port, there's a good chance that it can output a clean video feed. Even if it's an older model, it will look significantly better than a smartphone thanks to its much larger sensor. And if you don't have one already, we really like the Sony a5100. It's a mirrorless camera that can be had for around $300 on eBay with a 16 to 50mm kit lens included. And if you add a cheap tripod from Amazon for $20, hook it into a capture card. More on that in a minute. How do I look? Pretty plug and play, right? Actually, I should point out that we are using the step-down A5000. It is $100 cheaper, but it doesn't support clean HDMI output without a third-party modification. So if you're a tinkerer, good for you, but if you're not, I'd recommend going for the A5100, and this should give you a pretty good idea of what to expect in terms of camera settings, most streamers aren't going to have to mess around with too much. 30 FPS is lots for a corner cam, which means you're going to want a shutter speed of 1/60th. Then you might just need to tune your ISO, which is the sensitivity of your sensor, to make sure you don't have too much noise in your image. Your white balance to make sure it doesn't look too yellow or too blue. You might have to tune your tint a little bit. We had to push this a little bit away from green towards yellow to get it to look just right. And then you're going to want to set your aperture as wide as possible to get that nice pleasing depth of field bokeh effect in the background. If you want to avoid focus jittering with an older camera like this one, set your focus to manual and you should pretty much be good to go. Now, I want to note that there are other options other than the A5100. Just make sure you do your research. That $150 Canon Rebel might be tempting, but its HDMI output might be full of menu garbage, which there's no hack to get around, and that's going to be pretty hard to explain on your parent-teacher conference. Now, in terms of lighting, we previously recommended a basic halogen light, either in a lamp you found at Value Village or in a clip-style work light. That'll run you anywhere from a few dollars up to around $35. They are power hungry, and they do tend to run a little hot, but with a reflector and a sheet of wax or diffusion paper, I mean, that's what you're looking at right now, man, and there's definitely an ambiance to it, but I look not bad, right? Switching over to an Elgato key light for comparison certainly looks a lot better, but compared to just adding another halogen light, I think it's hard to justify the $200 price, at least from strictly an image quality standpoint. Where Elgato stands out, though, is in software control. Brightness and color temperature can be adjusted with a little slider in the taskbar, making it easy to compensate for a cloud suddenly covering the sun outside your window or what have you. And it also looks a lot more professional on your desk, if that matters to you. Back to capture card for a moment. It is crazy how cheap these things have gotten, with generic USB stick-sized devices available on Amazon for as low as $15. And these aren't even the cheap, crummy ones either. They have latency, they record at reasonably high bit rates for 1080p, and they don't need any additional drivers or software. This makes them perfect for a quick capture of your camera. With that being said, you do get what you pay for to an extent, and a lot of cheap capture cards may suffer from signal degradation or crashing issues earlier than hybrid options. Also warranty, right? Another benefit of premium capture cards is low latency pass-through so that you can stream your Xbox gaming, for example, from your PC. But a good workaround to this is a cheap HDMI splitter, and for your viewers, it'll look exactly the same, even if for you it means a little bit more cable clutter. course, if you want to capture in 4K, you will need to spend more money on a capture card. AverMedia and Elgato both have solid 4K offerings around the $200 mark. Although, for like your face camera, I really can't say that I'd recommend them, unless you're recording your footage locally on your PC so that you can edit it later and you want higher quality source files. Now let's get everything set up. After taking a break, yeah, love the Elgatos at home, but the bang for the buck here just cannot be beat. We're going to need a couple key pieces of software, OBS and Voice Meter, both of which happily are free. With both programs open, use A1 to select your preferred listening device, ideally using a hardware ASIO engine available. Set your first input to be your microphone, and then select your desired output channel on that input. To EQ your mic and make it sound all fancy, all you've got to do is right-click on the EQ above your output, and well, for me, we might want to raise the bass and treble a bit, giving it a warmer, more podcasty sound. Let's give that a shot. With audio dialed in, it's time to start getting our overlay set up. The overlay we're using today was generously made for us by Own Pro, the sponsor of today's video. They have an OBS Studio plugin that offers 600 plus overlays, alerts, and tools in 9 plus languages that can all be installed with just one click. Using code Linus, you can get 50% off the yearly subscription at owned.pro. With Owned, it's as simple as that. Is that it? One click, eh? That was actually really easy. Their overlays include everything from stinger transitions, which produce this cool effect, to intro screens, and even banners and buttons for your Twitch page. Items are in groups in the sources panel, and you just need to add your webcam setup by clicking on Add Source, and then Video Capture Device, and your game or full display capture, if the game isn't working, by using Game or Display Capture. Resizing elements is simple. Just select the one you want to edit, and you can resize it, holding Shift and Control keys to change how it's resized, or you can right-click to gain access to a whole bunch of extra options and tools, such as color keying, like green screen if you have one. Adding alerts is also really easy with Own Pro. On their dashboard, you can easily add custom alert variations and messages, and everything sticks to your alert theme without any extra hassle. I shot my teammate! Oh God! Not worth it! Get out of here! We're running, boys. This is the original setup. Not bad by any stretch of the imagination. But I think the difference after our upgrade is pretty striking. Up the street, got that better audio quality. Now I'm coming. Shoot. Ah! Get up! I hate that gun so much. I don't know what it's called. Do I look like I know guns to you? I'm a pacifist Canadian. Oh God, my aim is so bad. Well, there you have it. Whether the upgrades are worth it, that's up to you. But at least now you've got a solid idea of what's out there and how to set up for different kinds of things. Thanks for watching, and remember to check out Own Pro at the link in the description to get 50% off your yearly plan. You guys are free. With both programs open, use A1 to select your preferred. Just cannot be beat. We're going to need a couple key pieces of software, OBS and Voice Meter, both of which happily are free. With both programs open, use A1 to select your preferred listening device, ideally using a hardware ASIO engine available. Set your first input to be your microphone, and then select your desired output channel on that input. EQ your mic and make it sound all fancy. All you gotta do is right-click on the EQ above your output, and well, for me, we might want to raise the bass and treble a bit, giving it a warmer, more podcasty sound. Give that a shot. With audio dialed in, it's time to start getting our overlay set up. The overlay we're using today was generously made for us by Own Pro, the sponsor of today's video. They have an OBS Studio plugin that offers 600 plus overlays, alerts, and tools in 9 plus languages that can all be installed with just one click. Using code Linus, you can get 50% off the yearly subscription at owned.pro. With Owned, it's as simple as that. Is that it? One click, eh? That was actually really easy. Their overlays include everything from stinger transitions, which produce this cool effect, to intro screens, and even banners and buttons for your Twitch page. Items are in groups in the sources panel, and you just need to add your webcam setup by clicking on Add Source, and then Video Capture Device, and your game or full display capture, if your game isn't working, by using Game